All right, sorry guys, I'm going to introduce myself again. Thank you so much for the patience of the beautiful people that are already on. But my name's Katrina Stark. I get the pleasure of hosting tonight while we have Maxine and Rachael launch. Now these guys have come into the opportunity much like I did a couple of years ago. I know they're feeling a little bit nervous and they're kind of out of their comfort zone for all of this, so I really appreciate so many people jumping on and helping them. I was just sharing my story before we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'll explain a little bit about what makes me so passionate about this. So 2 years ago, actually in February, so I'm coming up to my birthday, I was in a really tough spot. I just separated from my baby's dad. We'd been together for 10 years, so he was much of my life. We'd set our whole life up together. And all of a sudden, I was single with 2 small children and 2 businesses to run. And I was very stressed out, very depressed. And I had anxiety really bad every single day just because I couldn't cope. And at that time, I'm a very spiritual person. So I flipped back to my spiritual beliefs and I was, holding myself together through meditation and mindfulness and all this kind of stuff. But I still wasn't breaking through the other side. And I was explaining before that I had a girlfriend on Facebook selling these beautiful products for 18 months prior. But I actually was really skeptical and I hoo-haed them, never took any notice because I'm really holistic and I love to get my nutrition from food. So I was thinking, I'm here juicing, I'm doing everything that I can, I'm limiting my chemicals. What is this capsule going to do for me? So I never even looked any further into it. But as the universe tends to happen, I ran into her one day at the shops and I was in a really vulnerable moment. If anybody's ever suffered from anxiety, you'll know that it can strike at any time. And I was in the shops feeling absolute terror. And she was there and she was talking to me and she actually got telling me her story of why she came onto the products. And it was very similar to mine. She was in a situation where a relationship broke down and it actually brought out severe depression and anxiety in her life. And she said that these little guys absolutely saved her. I wasn't sold then, I definitely wasn't, but I thought I've got nothing to lose because I know my other option, if I go to the doctor, they're going to write me out a script and I'm going to be on all sorts of medication. It was something that I really wanted to avoid if possible. So I went home and I ordered from her and pretty much from then it was a landslide into this because I fell so in love with what they did to my body. Like I said, I am really natural, so I thought we were eating enough. I'm a dance teacher by trade as well, so I knew my body was quite fit. But having these extra nutrients in my body really transformed it. So we're going to hear a few stories tonight. I know these ladies are very passionate about what it's done for them as well. But I'm going to shoot on over to Ashley straight away, and I want her to talk a little bit more about the products in depth. And then we're going to get on to the mission behind actually spreading good health around and how vital it is to make other people feel better. So I'm going to try and find you, Ash. If you can take yourself off mute, darling. I'll screenshot you.
Hello, how is everybody?
Good.
So I actually very much like Katrina came across this particular opportunity and the products basically because I was at a stage where I was suffering in my life and my skin wasn't too good. I had major breakouts. I was under some major health problems and also I'm currently traveling, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to add some more nutrition to my diet as I'm traveling. As a backpacker on a budget, your nutrition is very good. So, and there is a lot of people out there that I found with similar patterns that weren't getting enough time in the day to fit in the nutrients that they needed. And very much like Kat, I was very skeptical seeing a capsule produced as food. It just seemed really strange because to me, I thought I was doing a good job just by eating food. So, and that wasn't the case because I was clearly unwell and so many other people around me were really unwell. So I feel like the more I researched, the more I found that our food actually is very nutrient depleted with so many chemicals and sprays and pesticides and herbicides, and they pick way too early before they're even ripe. So we're missing those last final stages of nutrition. So basically our program is designed to get more whole food into our bodies. So it is a lifestyle program. So we have mindful components. We have different components there to add value to your life, to change your lifestyle. So we've just got our Shred starting. If some of you know of our Shred, which is an accelerate weight loss program, which is free with our products as well. And that's all hosted online. So everything on here is hosted online. So it's nice and easy for you to access. So our mindful component, our meal guides, our recipes, our shreds. We've also got things like detox and cleansers if you're into those sorts of things. And again, if you understand juicing, you will understand this. You will get this. It's so much easier this way, because I thought I was doing the right thing by doing juices and smoothies every day. And this is so much easier to get 30 whole fruits and veg into you every day. So basically our products, we have our macronutrients. The products are called Juice Plus, if any of you have heard it before. Our fruits, our veggies, our greens, and then we've got our berries. So basically, between the three of them, you're getting almost 30 whole fruits and veg into your body every day before the day even starts. So what they do with these babies is they vine ripen them so that they're not picked too early, so they've got all those last stages of vital nutrients inside them. Then they pick them whole and they're produced in the same day. And what they do is they juice them, so they're all cold pressed. If any of you know the difference between cold pressed juice, they juice the seeds, the stem, the skin, every little bit that has nutritional value is in there, which is what we often miss every day. Every bit of nutrition is inside there. So then they dehydrate them super low so that you get the encapsulated version in there. So what I loved about them, when I read the back, it actually read like a food label, not like a science label on the back. So on the back, you've got apple, pineapple, peach, prune, orange, and I could go on forever. So there's so many different ingredients in here that tick off all of the rainbow. So if you're just eating particular colors and particular fruits and veg, we often stick to what we like, and that's it. With these, you're getting all of the different rainbow in a variety. So they work in synergy with our cells, and they actually turn on different cells. So they do different things for everyone. Natural healing. So whether you've got autoimmune disease, whether you've got skin conditions, whether you've got any sort of problems, there's so much suffering happening in our world at the moment that these can alleviate with our program, coupled with our program, can really alleviate suffering in all areas. So what I also love about this is there's so much study also involved. If you're a study and knowledge person, there's so much behind this. We've got over 30 peer-reviewed gold standard studies. So that's just amazing. That's more than any other nutritional product on the market. That's more than your antibiotics that you take. They're actually really, really researched. So definitely get your questions answered through the person who showed you this. There is so much out there. Now, what I really love about this is if you've got kids, kids products actually come completely free. So they look kind of like these. They come in chewable form. Now they're actually in chewable form, they're actually no artificial colors, no sugars. And what they do, they mix them with a bit of tapioca starch. So they're vegan. So if your kid's vegetarian or vegan, they can eat this too. And there's nothing artificial inside, which I really love. They're delicious. So that's getting 17 different whole foods into your children's body every day, which we all know is pretty hard, right? They're pretty fussy. So that is guaranteed, and you will see so many results with them, from behavioral patterns, from their highs and lows through the day, their energy levels sustained. There's so many studies done on the Children's Health Study. So that goes along with the Children's Health Study. We do have our macronutrients as well, which are our whole food powders. They are a plant-based protein powder. So they've got things, all different superfoods in here, including spirulina, mushroom powder, yucca, all different things that we may not be getting on a daily basis. They come in chocolate and vanilla. If you enjoy it, it's a healthy snack, and they've got all your vital proteins, fats, and nutrients there to accelerate things. So they also accelerate a lot of weight loss and things as well. And what you'll also find is there's a natural mood booster in here. So it's the vitamin B group in there. It's derived from the plant, so it's you know that it's coming from a natural source. A lot of our vitamins and things we take are all from a synthetic source, so our body's actually not absorbing it how it should be. When you take it exactly from the plant, our cells recognize it, so that means it's absorbed into our body within the first 5 to 10 minutes. So it's absorbed straight into our bloodstream straight away. So there are products. We also do have our whole food omegas. So there are plant-based omegas as well, and they're all natural. They come from the algae, which are what the fish feed off. So if you're not into fish products, I know there's a lot of toxic stuff that come from the sea and come from fish products. And also, if you don't like the fishy taste, the omegas are great for that as well. So there are products, and I absolutely love them. They've done wonders for me. They give me so much energy through the day. They've obviously cleared up my skin. And also I've noticed my moods, especially the time of month, I've noticed my moods have increased so much throughout the day. And also, I just wanted to let you know, if you will find out more about the business as we flow through this. I know for me, I was super skeptical on all of this, but I just wanted to let you know that I've just recently finished my job as well as a few other people in here. I'm currently traveling in my camper van, as you can see, so it does open up opportunities. It does open up worlds of opportunities. So if you're willing to say yes, or even just give it a go, it's something that I definitely didn't know that I could do. And 6 months into this, I've been able to finish my full-time job. And now I'm taking this traveling with me, and being able to do this while traveling is just a dream come true. So thank you for listening, and I'll pass you back to Kat.
You're awesome. Thank you, darling. That's beautiful. I absolutely love it, because when the products were explained to me like that, you don't need a degree to understand that what we do eat and what we should eat is so different. You know, the lifestyle these days, we're not eating the same valuable food that we used to be, say, 50 years ago. It's all processed. Most of it is crap, and it's beyond our control a lot of the time, because even when we're going to the supermarkets and things and hoping to buy good food, a lot of it is really undervalued and it's undernourished. We're not getting our body up to the cellular level that it should be, because we're not feeding it the right food. So there's absolutely no surprise why we're so sick, why we're so dependent on sugars and toxic kind of activities and things like that, because our bodies are not doing what they should. So I'm going to shoot on over to Annie. She's going to share a little bit about her story as well, because like Ash said, I absolutely love that there's so many beautiful journals and medical degree studies and things like that on these products. But what's even more powerful for me is the actual stories of what they do to people. So, Annie, can you share briefly what they've done to you, honey?
Yep, sure. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
You can. Okay, so in June of last year, I decided to give the products a go. I'd seen a friend of mine who had lost a lot of weight and skin had improved and she got more energy. And I had been quite unwell for some time. And the doctors couldn't pick out what was wrong. I had swollen glands, fatigue, I was exhausted, just lots. And so anyway, to cut a long story short, I got on the products, and within a couple of days I had my energy not fully back, but I wasn't feeling the need to lay down and have a sleep. And by the second week, in sort of mid-second week, my glands had started to go down quite considerably. And then by day 9, I had decided that I didn't need to smoke anymore. So after 30 years of smoking, I decided that I no longer wanted to put one to my mouth, because I put it down to the fact that I was putting this goodness into my mouth. My energy levels were up. I was feeling a lot more healthier, and it just seemed so stupid to stick a cigarette to my mouth. So I quit, and I haven't been back since. And yeah, so that's kind of exciting for me. There's a lot of things that's happened for me on these products. I've been on them, like I say, since June last year, so it's been 6 months now, and I had a verruca on my foot for 20 years, and I noticed that has gone. My skin. Okay, so I started the omegas just under 4 months ago, and it's kind of crazy because my skin, I was telling Tanya today that I had quite that sort of dry looking skin, and you can see that it wasn't looking very healthy, but I've done 4 months nearly, and my skin is like, I don't know, there's just no, it's not dry, it seems moisturized, and it looks my hands look younger, which is really good because I noticed them starting to look quite, not young. So anyway, so that's the long and the short of it. There's lots more to tell, but I'll be here all day.
You're beautiful. Thank you so much for that, honey. I love that your hands are looking more young.
Yeah, youthful hands.
Youthful hands. Everybody wants youthful hands. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I love your story. And what's really cool is like we have now within our team probably close to about 2,500 families on this product. So we've been able to impact lots of people. And Annie's definitely not one of the only people who have got to quit smoking. So I find that so powerful because you just know that obviously your body's getting what it should be. It's behaving the way it should be because we're feeding it with the proper nutrients, and there's no longer that crave for bad food. I know for me, one of my funny things is that I am a massive Coca-Cola drinker. My dad used to work for Coca-Cola growing up, so it was basically water for me. And I found that when I started these products, it just kind of went away. Like I still drink it now because I enjoy it, but I don't need it. Like I don't crave it. I don't, I will drink it when I go out to dinner or things like that. I don't feel the need to go and put that kind of stuff into my body like I used to. So yeah, it's really funny the way that it works. And it can seem pretty crazy, but until you get them in your body and you start to understand that people do talk like this, it's been around for 30 years and people are still talking about the same ingredients and still raving about it. So it clearly does work. There's clearly something in there that is very beneficial. But what I found from there was that I became obsessed. And you might start to feel like a few people who are becoming obsessed about the products too, because it does really happen. Like you start to want other people to feel this good. You realize that it's so easy and it's so simple to make changes that last. So you really want to start to make other people around you feel good. Organically, it tends to happen anyway, because like Annie said, if her skin's changing, people notice that. They talk to you. They say, you look great. You've got a lot of energy. What are you doing? And there is a beautiful business behind this that can not only help you feel good, but help other people feel good as well. And when I heard about that, coming from 2 traditional jobs, getting no time freedom, the thought of being able to just share a product and get paid for it really made a lot of sense to me. I definitely was still quite skeptical because I was in traditional business. I understood how traditional business worked. I understood I was in a lot of debt from it, but I understood that it worked. I wasn't quite sure about this whole network marketing thing. It was quite foreign to me. But I'm going to shoot on over to Tanya now and get her to explain a little bit more about how you can actually utilize this product in this program in order to not only help yourself feel good, but be able to create a little bit of freedom by working online and helping other people feel good as well. So Tans, I'm going to shoot on over to you, darling. It's all yours.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I had to unplug my speakers to move so the internet was better.
No, we've got you, darling. You're great.
Cool. Okay. So, hey guys, it's not very clear, sorry, I'm a bit dark. So I just wanted to, that's better, tell you guys a little bit about why I sort of started the business. I started on the product. I watched my friend Annie, who you've just heard, and I myself was sick. So once I started on the product, within 4 days, I was totally sold and thought I had such great benefits that I had to do this, and I was pretty much in a place where I felt like I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't actually have the lifestyle that I wanted. I wanted to travel, and I felt pretty stuck in doing that. I also was limited really in being able to help people. I mean, that was the biggest thing for me, is really being able to help people. And for me, when I first looked at the business, I mean, I was pretty into it straight away because it suited me. But I must admit that I was a bit skeptical. I did have a few things that I wasn't quite sure about. And one of those things is, that everyone talks about how it's a pyramid scheme, and I know, first of all, it's not a pyramid scheme. And, pyramid schemes are illegal anyway, so it's definitely not. But another thing that I want to show you, so when we think about traditional business, okay, and I know that we've all seen traditional business at some point in our lives. Traditional business pretty much looks like this. So, hey, can you see that? There, that's better. So it looks like a pyramid, right? Funny that. So right here, we have the CEO at the top, then we have levels, right? And like most of you, probably, who knows, but I was down here and spent most of my working life actually down here. And you know how hard it is when you try and move up in a company. Usually you've got limited pay down there, and if you want to move up, it's actually really difficult because there's a lot of competition. So you've always got people in the company or others outside of the company that are vying for the same position, right? And the number of times that I tried to move up and just couldn't get the job, there was just too many other people wanting it. Obviously, I wasn't the right person, and I felt really stuck. Here was I sitting here on a limited income, on hours that I had to do, getting told when I had to work, when I could take my leave, how much leave I was allowed, and really limited in what my job description was too, how I could impact people, because for me that meant a huge amount. And I know for some people that actually do get up here, that's great. You might get more pay. I mean, shit, you might even get up higher, and you might actually get more pay. You usually do. But with that also comes more responsibility, usually more hours and more work. And often, it brings a lot more stress. So that's not too flash either. And, this guy here at the top, you think, he's doing all right. He's doing really well, actually. He's probably raking in the money. It's opportunities, more responsibility too, of course, but also they've got a lot more outgoings. Okay, there's rent and marketing and wages and power and phone and all that kind of stuff as well. So it's not whatever you're doing in a traditional business, it's usually not that flash for your future or your day-to-day stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to flip this on its head. God, I hope you guys can see that with my silly old windows. And this is pretty much what Juice Plus looks like. Okay, and this is our top level right there, NMD. Can you guys see that? Yeah, just. Okay, so, and again, same thing applies when you first start in Juice Plus. You start on the bottom, just the same as a traditional business. But the difference is here is you don't have to be skilled. You don't have to be any particular, I mean, obviously you have to be over 18, but you don't have to be any particular age. You don't have to know anything, or, you can be a toilet cleaner, you can be a CEO of the biggest company in the world, you can be a doctor, whatever it is. You can actually, everybody starts on exactly the same level with the same skill and knowledge. And because what happens is we get taught everything that we need to know as we go along. And the other fantastic thing about this is every single person gets the opportunity to move up in the business as high as you want it. And it is totally unlimited. So there is no limits to how much you can earn in this, okay? And, you might decide that you want to just, you might want to just earn $200 to $500 a month. You might want to have a bit of extra money to go shopping or to go for dinner once a month or whatever. But some other people want to move up to higher levels, or, they want to move right up to the top. And it doesn't matter It doesn't matter how much you want to earn. At the end of the day, it's totally up to you. You can earn as much as you want. So there's no competition, and also it means that you've got this time freedom as well. So, you know, I like Ashley, I've just recently stepped out of my day job. Mine wasn't full-time, but it was 30 hours a week, and I just stepped out of that about was a month ago, actually. Yeah, a month ago today. So I stepped out of that and into this, and honestly, I would work maybe 4 hours a day, but I'm putting a lot of time into it. I mean, you can do this in stolen moments. It's really, really is quite easy to do that. A couple like Rachael, stolen moments. Lochner, stolen moments. Two of my lovely team. So hang on a moment, guys. I'm just going to wipe this off. So it really is quite easy to fit into your life. So when I said before about how this is a teaching business, this is totally a teaching business. This is also a sharing business, okay? So what we're doing is we are sharing our story. We are sharing our life, our journey, so what we are doing, okay? So, and all we're doing really is we're reaching out and we are talking to people and we are sharing what we're doing with people. It really is that simple. So this is me right here, okay? And so really all I did was I just reached out and I talked to Loach. This is Lochner right here. And then I reached out and I talked to Rachael. And then I reached out and I talked to Maxine. And then I reached out and I talked to Bobby Joe. And now, as you can see, there's only like 4 people there, and really you can do this with just reaching out to 3 people, because then what happens, this is magic, this is really magic. So Loach reached out and talked to Bon, and then, you know, if Loach reaches out and speaks to 3 people, Rach speaks to 3 people and shares it with them, Maxine shares it with 3 people, Bobby Joe shares it with 3 people. Okay, can you see now what happens? This Bon will share it with 3 people. This person will share it with 3 people. And so it just keeps going. And it's like popcorn. And honestly, before you know it, you've got these circles all over the place. And it just grows and grows and grows on its own. It really is that easy to do. And all I really did was share it with 3 people. And I mean, you can share it with as many people as you want. So you can imagine how many more people that you can share it with, how many more people are going to be under you. And so that's what it's about. It's about linking arms with other people and sharing your story, sharing the business, okay, and helping each other. That's the really wonderful thing. This is what I love the most about this business, is I get to help my lovely little team grow their team. I get to help them grow their business, grow their team. It's heaps and heaps of fun. And I make heaps of friends along the way, because really, you know, my friend is Annie, who introduced me, and then Maxine, Rachael, Lochner, Bobby Joe. And then they bring in their friends. So they're only my friends and then their friends, and so on and so on. So anyway, it's very cool. Thanks. I'll pass you back to Kat. Thanks, Kat.
Awesome. Thank you, darling. Cool. Thank you very much. That was beautifully explained. Lovely. Okay. So basically, guys, we've got 10 minutes. It's telling me before it's going to boot me off again. So I'll not be nice and quick. I just want to finish up because we can explain a little bit about this, but the money side of it is really kind of weird because people don't know how we get paid. So I'm going to explain that for you guys now. If you've got any questions, please shoot it on through to me. For you guys who were here at the start, you heard the story about me. I was struggling. I was doing it all by myself, trying to raise 2 children. And literally there would be days in the middle of the week where we just would have no money because it didn't stretch that far. And to me, there was no light at the end of the tunnel because I couldn't work more hours. I couldn't really do much to take ownership of that situation. So I was sick of being broke. I was sick of saying no to my kids. And I knew that that was really all that was going to be ahead. When this kind of money was explained to me and I understood how much I loved the product, I thought this was the business that was going to be able to help me become a little bit more free. at that stage, I was really happy with an extra $500 a month. What it turned into is a lot more now. So I sit here now, this is my full-time job. I earn a full-time income, a very decent full-time income by working maybe 10, 15 hours a week online around my family. And that really is the power of what network marketing can be. I don't think many people understand that. They see it as a little hobby online, but it is a very lucrative business, especially if you've got a product that works, a product that helps impact people, and a product that makes people feel good because it spreads the good vibes around. So basically how we get paid is just like the girls kind of shared before, is we use a method called UTR. So we use the product. We're simply honest customers who talk about the product. So we use the product. We're a product of the product. We talk about it and we share our results. So, you know, like these days when you go to the movies and you see a movie that you like, you talk about it to your friends. The cinema doesn't pay you for recommending more customers. Juice Plus does. All right, so when you're doing a product, you love the program, you're doing that, as you refer new people, you will get paid for it. So it definitely makes a lot of sense because referral marketing is the way things are going. You know, you guys just have to look at Facebook these days to see how many ads are popping up. People understand that digital and word of mouth marketing is the way that it's going. Television ads, magazine ads, things like that, they're not going to be around for much longer. When we get paid 3 ways. So we get paid a retail profit, we get paid a percentage, and then we also get paid a bonus. Now, the retail profit's probably the most easiest one to understand. So basically what would happen is if I met Tanya down the street, we were friends, and she said she wanted to order the product, all I would do was go into the software on my phone, I would put her details in, and I'd click send to Juice Plus. They would then take her payment, they would ship it, they would do all of her customer care to ensure that the product gets there well, but they would put money in my bank account for doing it. So I don't have to touch her product, I don't have to ship, I don't have to mail, I don't have to get any fancy devices to take payment or anything. I simply just put in their details and click send like a normal email, and it goes straight through and there's money in my bank for doing that. Then we get on to this one, which is the commission. Now basically what it happens is in Juice Plus, they've been around for 30 years, and in 30 years they've never once paid marketing or advertising. They're a complete direct selling company, so they rely on the customers for word of mouth. Now, because of this, they have millions upon millions of dollars in profit sitting in a bank that they've been very smart with. They haven't put any of it into celebrity endorsing, TV ads, billboards, anything like that. They've saved it all and they directly give it to the little customers who walk around talking about it. Now, as a little customer walking around talking about it, I have built quite a big team. So what they do is they feed some of this money into us in order to look after our team and to thank us for our work. So that is what we call our residual income, because what happens is that's the money that gets paid to me regardless of where I am. And there's not many opportunities out there these days where you can make residual income. I know real estate and property is one of them, but you need to own $2 million worth of property outright in order to be able to achieve the same amount of residual income you could as an NMD in Juice Plus, which is nuts. Very, very few people have $2 million outright that you can invest into it. For us, it's $172 to get started with Juice Plus. And within 18 months, like I did, you could be earning a residual income of close to 6 figures a year. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of potential there. But the bonuses, so that last one, that's the one I'm going to explain and actually show you the figures, because it's probably the easiest one to grasp and it's the easiest one to achieve. So when we come into the business, just like these girls has, we hit DVF in our first 10 days and straight away you get a $100 bonus. Now that $100 bonus, it may not be much, but it's just really enough to say thank you so much for trusting us. Thank you for giving this a go. Here's a little reward to hope and wish you on the best of your journey. Then we move on to SDVF. Now that's a $400 bonus and that's normally done within your first month. Now like Tan's shared, it's a teaching business. So whenever you teach somebody to get to SDVF, you also make $400. Then we move on to SC, which is a $600 promotion and $600 every single time you teach somebody to get there. Then we've got SSC, which is $1,200 and $1,200 every time you teach somebody. Now, you don't need to know the difference between all these. They're very, very unimportant, but it just goes to show you the figures that are available. Then we've got QNMD, which is Qualifying National Marketing Director, And that's a $1,500 bonus and $1,500 every time you teach somebody. Now, the beauty of this is they're exponential. So you can go out and help your friends. You know, you might have a sister who doesn't want to work, or a sister who's just about to retire. You might have a best friend who's got an injury, so they can't do long shifts anymore. You can help them achieve their positions and get paid. And you can help as many people as you like a month get paid, because there's no limits. Then we have our last pinnacle position, which is NMD, and that's a $3,000 bonus. And there's no longer a teaching bonus, because like I mentioned, at an NMD level, you're receiving a residual income of approximately 80 grand to 100 grand a year residual. So it's quite a sufficient income. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's not a business that's going to take, 3-5 years to build up. That's okay if it does, and there's no pressure on you if you do want to stretch it out that long. But when I came in, I seen the opportunity. I really loved the products, and I thought, you know what, there's so many people out there who need to feel better. So many people are always complaining about being unhappy and being sick. So I really went for this, and I got to NMD in just over a year. So from going from not even making a week worth of pay last to being able to have almost a 6-figure income was absolutely phenomenal. And what's really cool is that you don't have to turn up anywhere. You don't have to rock up or commute or do a certain shift or swap your hours over. You literally get to make the choices of where you want to work and where you show up. So for me, travel is big on my list, and same with my little girl. So we do a lot of traveling because I can take this with me everywhere. You might be out in a rural kind of area and not have a lot of job opportunities. But if you've got Wi-Fi and you can connect to us, you can make money globally. And that kind of stuff is really powerful. And I'm really passionate now about kind of sharing that, because I think more and more people need to understand that there are options out there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot on over, now that we've finished all that formal stuff, to Maxine. And I'm going to get her to share a little bit about how she got started and why she's kind of invited you all here today. So Maxine, there you are, my love. Let me spotlight you. Go for it.
Well, I've just been really impressed with the product. In the beginning, I took it for a little while, and then it was Christmas, and I kind of dropped off. And but I noticed even in the short time I was taking it, when I stopped, I kind of noticed a few things coming back, like my joints had been kind of playing up, and I'd sort of forgotten that I'd had those issues, but they sort of came back when I dropped off. And my motivation was something I noticed that went down. I kind of got my mojo back a bit on them, and then kind of lost it again. But the other thing is, Harriet, my daughter, went on them for a while as well, and she had quite a lot of anxiety at the time. She'd had a few horrible jobs and had been moving around a lot and stuff happening. And her anxiety resolved really pretty much overnight. Really amazing. She noticed it quite instantly, and also a lot of unhealthy food cravings started disappearing. That's another quite profound thing that I've noticed, is my sugar cravings have pretty much disappeared. I don't need anything sugary, whereas I've always kind of had periods during the day where I've craved sugar. So they pretty much disappeared. And also, I've always been a bit of an overeater. I'll tend to kind of keep on eating, even if I don't really need to. And that's kind of starting to shift a bit too. Like, I'm just not feeling that hungry, all the time. I don't seem to need a lot of food, as much as food, to